Hey, y'all need a break. Listen to these stories from r/AmITheA-hole. Am I the a-hole for making a joke about my brother's affair at his wedding? When I was in elementary school, I was the type of kid who disrupts class often on their report card, so I never focused much on school. My district had this system where they would pair high schoolers with younger kids to help them with school, etc., and my mom made me do that after I kept getting in trouble. So my tutor was a freshman, Abby, so she would come to our house after school to help me with my homework or something, I barely remember. My brother John was the same age as Abby, so they would talk to each other and ended up dating. She stopped tutoring me officially after like a month, but since she was at our house a lot, I also talked to Abby a lot and we were close as well. Fast forward 10 years, Abby and John got married and had a kid together. 5 years later, John tells me that he's getting a divorce because he's met someone new. It sucked because I liked John and Abby together a lot, but whatever. Then he tells me he had an affair with his new girlfriend. Also sucks, and I told him he shouldn't have hurt Abby like that, but whatever. I also asked Abby how she was doing and she wasn't doing well, but she told me she didn't want her to be the reason I have a bad relationship with my brother. However, 2 months before the wedding, Abby calls me and tells me that my brother's girlfriend has been harassing her nonstop. She showed me the texts and his girlfriend was saying some pretty disturbing things about how she's so much better than Abby, taunting Abby for having to share custody of her kid now, etc. Just making fun of her and bullying her. I told my brother about this and he said he would ask his girlfriend about it. A month later I asked him if he ever brought it up, and he said he did but saw nothing wrong with the texts, which pissed me off. I confirmed that he saw the same texts I saw. Abby apologized for involving me in the whole thing in the first place, and encouraged me to still go to the wedding where my brother asked me to make a speech. The speech went well until I made a joke. The gist of the joke was me turning to his new wife and telling her that, if she's learned anything from this, she should know that my brother will never let his wife stop him from finding the love of his life. This got my brother and his wife really mad, and they kicked me out shortly after, and my brother has been calling and texting me, non-stop yelling at me. TLDR, made a joke about brother's affair. Am I the a-hole? You know how vigilantes are technically in the wrong, but we all cheer them on anyway. You're the a-hole, but high five. Am I the a-hole for getting mad my artist hid their initials in my tattoo? This is a short one. Names changed for privacy. I went to a tattoo shop in my area with a photo of the tattoo I wanted. It was one my dad had gotten to honor my past grandfather whose father also had it. But the point is, it was important to me that the tattoo looked exactly as it did in the photo. I get to the shop, I explain everything, I pay, get the tattoo, and we're done. I think it looks awesome, everything is great. Until a few weeks later when I show my great-grandmother the tattoo. She's static, grabs my arm to look at and compliment it, then asks, "Who's AJ?" I ask her what she means, and she points out on the tattoo where the initials A and J or maybe T were hidden into the tattoo. I'm instantly pissed, as my artist's name is Alice Trevor. She tries to assure me it's no big deal if I hadn't noticed it till now, but I still reached out to the artist, sort of irritated. They told me the style of art I got is called traditional and it's pretty trad for all artists who do that style to do it. I demanded a partial refund and they refused, so I complained to the owner who made the artist give me a full refund. Now the artist is running a full smear campaign, talking about moving shops, and all kinds of crap. My sister says I'm an a-hole for pushing the issue, but I feel like, at the end of the day, I told you exactly what I wanted and you didn't do that. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This person straight up branded you. Not only that, this isn't even the artist's design, it's a copied design. Not the a-hole. Tattoo artists don't get to sign their work because their canvas is a human being. This is known. This is conventionally understood. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my father-in-law after I repeatedly asked him to explain his joke to me? I, 27 female, used to be an escort from 18 until I was 23. I'm not proud of it, but I also don't give a frick because I did what I had to do to keep studying and a roof over my head. That's how I met my now fiancé, 37 male, though he was never my client. We began to date when I was 25, and 3 or 4 months after that, his brother-in-law exposed me. No idea how he found out, because there's no way my fiancé knew, and thus we had to come clean in front of his whole family. Yes, I did that. Yes, he knows. Yes, he doesn't care. It was 2 years ago. At that time, we got over it. After that, there was a span of 3 to 4 months, in where my mother-in-law and some of my fiancé's aunts and cousin police their husband when I was around. It was really weird, to be honest, because these dudes were like 40 to 60-year-old and I wasn't that desperate, so my fiancé shut their bullcrap hard, and even when his family still gives me the side eye from time to time, we thought it was behind us. He proposed last year, and 5 months ago we found out that I was pregnant. We were really happy about it and we told his family as soon as we knew. His sisters and young brother were happy for us, but his mom took me aside and begged me to be honest with her and asked if this was really my fiancé's child. I was taken aback, but I just rolled my eyes and said yes. She gave me some crappy speech about how she only wanted to make sure and that she was happy to be a grandmother. Well, last weekend we were at his parents' with his family and some of his friends, and we were talking about the name, how he might look, small talk. We will love him regardless, but there's always some, "Oh, I hope he gets your nose. I like your eyes. I hope he gets them," comments. And my father-in-law said that he and his children have a birthmark in the inner thigh, and that even his grandchildren, one of my sister-in-law's kids, got them, so our baby might too. And then he said, "But how can we know from who he got it? It may as well be from me, my boy, or my brothers," and he and his brothers began to laugh. My fiancé got mad, and before he could say anything, I said, "I don't get it," and my father-in-law was, "Yeah, because it runs in the family," and I said again, "I don't get it, why would he get it from you?" And he began to get nervous and said, "Because you know, it's just a joke, OP. And I said, "But I don't get it," and you all laughed. Explain. It got to the point that some of his friends said, "Hey, it's not funny," so he excused himself and left. Later my fiancé's brother-in-law came to me and said that I was wrong for embarrassing him like that in his own house, and that I knew what the joke was about, and because of my past, I shouldn't be surprised. Now they're all demanding that I apologize to my father-in-law. Not the a-hole. Father-in-law literally made a joke about him or other men from the family impregnating you. How that would make you the a-hole is beyond me. How does one even get to crossing that kind of line? What the frick? Edit. I'd like to add that I was under the impression that jokes are supposed to be funny. I'd like father-in-law to explain to us not only the joke he made but the way jokes work in general. Where's the setup? What's the punchline? Am I the a-hole for walking out of the baby shower my in-laws threw for me? The situation is kind of a mess. I, female 27, am expecting my first baby with my husband. This is the first grandchild in the family, in-laws, and they said that if the baby's a boy, then we'll give him my father-in-law's name. He's dead due to cancer. I had no problem with that. This happened before we found out the gender of the baby. My husband and his family had me do things like attend prayers and do other rituals before the reveal at the doctor's. I didn't like that but went with it to keep the peace. Doctor appointment came, and it turned out to be a girl. My husband cried in the car, then turned his phone off to hide from his family, then finally told them. His mom and the others made their frustration and disappointment clear, which bothered me cause my daughter deserves to be celebrated, but they ghosted me for days, then started coming over and visiting, constantly referring to my daughter as my son, claiming the results were false and basically pretending it's a boy. I had several fights with them after they refused to stop it, and my husband sided with them despite seeing how wrong and unreasonable what they were doing was. We didn't speak for a while. Sister-in-law called to apologize, then informed me she arranged for a baby shower for me. I was so excited and happy. But when I arrived I saw blue balloons, blue cake with father-in-law's name/decorations around. I was so confused I had to sit down. Sister-in-law explained they were still hoping the gender results are false and it's a boy. I looked at my husband and he agreed with her. I lost my temper and yelled at them all, calling them delusional and telling them to stop treating my daughter like she's unwanted, and act like she doesn't exist by throwing a party for their imaginary grandson. Mother-in-law broke down crying. I took my bag and walked out immediately. They started yelling and my husband followed me outside and started arguing about how I insulted his family and his dad's memory by acting like that. I told him to wake up and see the insanity in his family's behavior. He said they needed time to process the fact that it's a girl not a boy as they expected, and insisted I play along and they'll soon get over it. I said absolutely not and demanded he take me home. He said no, so I called an Uber and left. He was fuming. He called 15 times, then texted that he won't be coming home till I get my ass over and apologize for ruining everything they've done for me and accusing them of being mentally unstable. I haven't responded yet. He's constantly pressuring me to get right with his family before we even talk about anything else. So, you already know how your daughter is going to be treated in this family. Time to take a nice hard look at how your life between now and when you die will be, and what your daughter's life will be like, and make some hard decisions. Not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for favoring my scapegoat brother over his golden child twin sister? I, 20 male, have two younger siblings, Joe and Jill. They're twins, both 18 and graduating high school this year. Jill is my parents' favorite, because they've always wanted a daughter, while Joe is their scapegoat, because I guess he's the bonus baby they never actually asked for. I'm mostly better off than Joe, as I'm the oldest grandson from both sides of my family, almost all of whom are just as blatant as my parents are about their favoritism. I felt really bad for Joe, so I did what I could to make him feel less alone. Like when Jill got to go shopping with mommy and daddy, I took Joe skating with my friends. When our parents were too busy watching Jill's kitty pageant, I dragged my best bud to sit through Joe's elementary school musical. Small things like that. It all started as pity moves, but soon my friends pretty much liked Joe better than me, while Jill's princess syndrome got in her head, so now I spend more time with Joe because I simply like him better than Jill. Never said it out loud, but I don't make it a secret either that I prefer not to spend my time with entitled brats. Anyway, like I said, they're graduating soon. They both already had their choice of college, accommodations, etc. Jill's going to a uni in San Francisco, fully funded by our parents, unsurprisingly. Joe's going to the same uni as mine in Seattle, but different campus just 20-ish minutes away. He got a full ride, which apparently makes him ineligible to get any financial help from his own parents. This is also hardly surprising, so I made some calls to ask around, see if anyone is hiring next fall. I did this while on FaceTime with Joe. I was reassuring him that we'll find him a job that doesn't suck and pays enough, that he's better off without dad's money anyway because we both know it comes with strings attached, that this way, mom and dad wouldn't be able to stick their noses into his purchases. I got him to feel better about the whole thing and logged off. I guess Jill overheard, because the next day she sent me texts after texts demanding I help her find jobs as well because she doesn't want dad nagging her. When I told her, politely by the way, that I don't know anyone in San Francisco, and that she'd get more help from mom and dad, she blew up, saying all these things about me favoring Joe over her, which, yeah, it's true. I love both of my siblings, but I don't particularly like Jill. It's not like she's making herself likable though, so am I the a-hole. I figured your brother was a total F-up or something, but seems his only crime was being the boy twin. F-ups don't get full rides to college. Here's the thing, of course you are not the a-hole, but you went above and beyond, because without someone like you in his life Joe would have likely slipped into total F-up territory. So what you have done for him is beyond any measure of the acronyms we have on this page. As for Jill, give her a chance to grow up without your parents' constant dotage. She might surprise you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.